Namaste, good morning. I am Naveen Gursidaya, your self empowerment coach. I empower students, employees, and business owners overcome challenges in their lives and achieve peak performance by enabling them to go deep within. Welcome to today's episode of Empowerment for Excellence, show by Naveen. We have Arvind Venugopal, who is sharing his empowerment story when he went and joined a society in US, and he saw some challenges and he made up his mind to overcome those challenges by going deep within. Let's hear it from Arvind Venugopal as to how he made it happen. Good morning, Arvind. How are you?
Hi, Naveen. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, how's it going in US right now?
Oh, it's challenging, especially because we are hearing mixed news every day,
Hmm,
and
I understand.
we are uh, we are hoping for a magic portion that's available can make us free again. But that's the hope every day. But it's been challenging in that sense. But uh, we are happy and grateful that all our loved ones are still doing well, and we are ourselves personally doing well, and I'm doing fine. So no complaints, but looking forward to a better future for us all.
Of course, of course. So, welcome to Empowerment for Excellence show by Naveen. Truly happy to have you here, where you're going to be sharing your empowerment story.
Thank you. Same here. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. So, Arvind, let's start with you telling us when exactly this particular incident of empowerment happened in your life.
I would say about 5 years or so ago.
That was like in
Um,
2015.
yeah, around 2015 time frame. Um, so I had just started being involved more actively in the music circle, art circle in the Washington D.C. metro area.
Mhm.
Um, so that's when I experienced some things which really made me feel more empowered.
So, Arvind, what was the situation and the challenge in this case?
Sure. The challenge, I would say, more than challenge, describing the situation, I would say growing up in an environment where I was primarily exposed to people with similar backgrounds, or similar aspirations. Entering an environment of a set of artists who bring in different backgrounds
Hmm.
and different aspirations, be it a religious background or racial background or different types of background that people bring, and to sit with our differences, learn from each other. So that was not something that we naturally grew up with. So that was a difficult challenge for me initially as I was going through this.
Oh, okay, okay. So I can kind of relate and try to understand how it would have been in that situation. So, how did you go deep within yourself, Arvind, in this situation?
So I would say just it was a journey. First few interactions, I could not relate to many of the things that people were talking about, and I was at an unrest. Of thinking about how can I come to a resolution with the situation, and I
Hmm.
need to learn everything about how everyone is experiencing everything, and then I can be empathizing and then I realized at some point, of course, I had mentors through the process,
Hmm.
but I realized at some point it is okay to not be able to understand, but it's quite important to still sit with each other and listen to each other's stories. So it can help us grow in our communication journey, in our empathy journey, in terms of how we relate to people, how we talk to people, regardless of whether they are from the same background, and the same things inspire people, or people are looking forward to the same things, or what is more important for people or what is sensitive for people could be different for different people. So just because you have a disagreement with somebody doesn't mean you kind of disconnect with them. You can still be at peace, and there can still be aspects where you can have your disagreements, or you can have points where you don't understand what each other is talking about. You cannot relate to some things because we have been privileged in certain ways in life, so it's harder for us to understand in certain things, and also we have a certain lens that we grew up with, whether it be a religious lens that we grow up, everybody has their own background, or it's economic lens because we go to certain supermarkets and we don't know what's happening in the other types of supermarkets, things like that. So I think just realizing that we have these lenses in place and still sitting with that situation and being okay with it.
Right, right. So, very well articulated by you, Arvind. So, have that lens and a kind of a filter, and also be aware as to how you need to go ahead and pursue in spite of you facing a challenge in different society, and also in the mix of different society of people coming in from various parts of the globe. So, that was, very, I can say, self thoughts which guided you to see to it that you do gel well into this particular space. In spite of the challenges, in spite of the difficulties, what you might see, you still made it, right? To see to it that that you kind of float along with all of them with the filters and the lenses, probably focusing it wherever required and defocusing it where not required. Am I able to kind of relate what you said correctly, or would
Yeah. That sounds right. In fact, this is an ongoing journey because the world is filled with so many types of people. So this journey is going to be ongoing, and everybody has this moment at some point in their life where they're going to meet somebody who are going to say some things which would not make any sense for us, but then that would have been that person's reality all of their life. Or you come to polar opposites where you say like one team is the better team, the other person says the other team is the better team, and then you're going to come to these situations at some point or the other. And I think the key here is to not make that as a make or break kind of a thing, but still be able to sit with the differences, still have an open mind to understand and learn about the other side of the story, and grow from that.
Awesome, awesome. So when you finally, went deep within yourself and empowered yourself to see to it that these challenges do not exist anymore, how did you feel when you achieved success, Arvind?
Um, yeah, thank you for that question. So I think I would say I've always tried to think of success as a journey. I do think there are usually different landmarks that come out, and then it's almost like a journey. So I try not to think of one destination or like one point where I would feel, okay, my work is done here. So in terms of growing from some of these challenges, I always think of it as, okay, while I'm entering this space, how can I learn today, and how can I take that experience forward? So in terms of when I was experiencing these things, but I had the incredible opportunity to work with a variety of artists who I would never have had if I had entered that room and said, okay, this does not make sense to me, and I left the room. Those kind of learning opportunities I would never have had. And then we always challenged each other to be the best version of ourselves. That was one of the things we told ourselves. We have to lift each other to be the best versions of ourselves. So as a day, every time we gathered, so we reminded each other of this, and also the potential, or like the possibilities are infinite. So when we gather in a room as creators or artists or musicians, it's almost like an empty slate, where what we are going to create is up to us. Every time we enter that empty slate, we have a great opportunity to create something. So I think I always feel It is an ongoing journey, and then sometimes we have a masterpiece and we can display to the world. Sometimes it is not even according to our own satisfaction, so we wipe the slate clean and we start again. So that's part of the process.
Wow, that's a real good lesson which you learned, which you shared here. So further to that, would you like to share any particular message to the viewers who are watching this video?
Sure. So I would say we all have our own stories and we all have our own viewpoints on various things. And anytime we communicate with the world or we gather with people, people are going to bring their own perspectives and pour it in. I used to be one of the people who would jump in and put my viewpoint so everybody hears my viewpoint. But I think the key is there's a great proverb which says, if you repeat what you already know, you don't learn anything new. So the key is to balance sharing our viewpoints along with listening to other people's viewpoints and then learning from that combined experience. So anytime we gather with people or we get into a communication with people, so it's important to share our viewpoints as well as listen to the other side of the story.
That's wonderful. That's a really a strong message which everyone of us will have to kind of connect what backstory we have to the message which you are giving here, Arvind. That's really powerful what you mentioned. So thanks, Arvind. Thank you so much for taking time out and sharing your empowerment story. I'm pretty sure it will be of a lot of value to the viewers. So here's thanking you once again and wishing you all the very best in your journey ahead.
Thank you so much, Naveen. It was a pleasure being here, and I look forward to continuing to be tuned in to your channel.
Thank you so much, Arvind. You take care, stay healthy, stay blessed. Bye bye.
Thank you.